my blessings, you know?
That's right. That's right. We live in front of the studio audience, homie.
All the time. I appreciate being here and ready to serve y'all what y'all been asking for.
That's right. Uh,
Some of this old historic content.
that's right. Appreciate you too, man, on everything. Uh,
Likewise, it's the same thing. Appreciate you and the rest of the people that come in and listen to us talk, man.
that's right, for real. Uh, I got a couple questionnaires we gonna get to, and I don't know if this dude from 40s that tapped in or who he was, but somebody had asked us was we familiar with the guy Four Leaf from 40 Crips, and do we got any experiences with 40 Crips banging, you know what I'm saying, banging against them dudes in our useful time, homie. And I'm gonna keep it honest, I never ran across the dude Four Leaf, homie, from 40 Crips.
Right.
But I heard of the youngster and heard that he was pretty active, homie, you know, and shit like that. You know, he kind of had an old school style about himself, even though he was a youngster. Uh,
Right.
uh, what had you ran across that dude inside the institution, homie? Or heard about him personally, the dude Four Leaf?
Yeah, the one I know, I don't know if it's a couple of them, but the one I know, he big like myself, like about 6'3", 6'4", about 260 pounds, you know, nice little buff dude. And I had an encounter with him at Pelican Bay, and I'm gonna be honest, you know, I learned to love the little dude. You know, he got an old school spirit, and the reason I like him is because before he even arrived at Pelican Bay, I heard about him for years. You know, I heard people telling stories, homies telling stories about him. I done heard about him knocking out a few homies, and I done heard about him, you know, getting a run for his money from a homie. You know what I mean? And so it had me kind of like wanting to meet him. You know what I mean? You know how sometimes you hear stuff about people, and you hear so much, you be like, man, I gotta meet this dude. So after hearing all these stories, it was like people talking him up to Pelican Bay. You know, it wasn't just Crips and Bloods talking about him. It was like Mexicans, all kind of people talking about him. They were talking about him like he was the new improved Mike Tyson. You know.
This call and
Right.
your telephone will be monitored and recorded.
The dude, the youngster Four Leaf. Right.
Yeah, the young Four Leaf like the 40 Crip. So when he pulled up to Pelican Bay, I'm just being honest, you know, there was a couple of dudes up there running around like you know how chickens do when they hear foxes outside the hen house. They start making all that noise and stuff.
Right.
There was a few dudes up there, Bloods and Crips, that was like, as soon as he came, Pony's here. So I was like, man, I gotta see who the hell this is, man. You know what I mean? I was like just real curious.
Right.
And from the moment he came out to the yard, it seemed like he heard things about me too, because as soon as he came out to the yard and we looked at each other, we both smiled and acknowledged each other. You know what I mean? I didn't tell him where I was from. He didn't tell me where he was from.
Right.
He just, once he came out, you know, it was like instant love. As soon as he walked out the door, he was like, what's up, homie? And he stuck his hand out, and I shook his hand. And I was like, damn, this dude cool, man. All this stuff I've been hearing about, you know? So I watched him a few days. A few days later, I guess somebody had told him about me as well, because he was on the track, and I was like, let me introduce myself. So I went over to introduce myself, and he already knew who I was. And we sat and talked, and I ain't gonna lie, instantly liked me, because he had an old soul for a youngster. You know, I don't even think Foley's 30 yet. You know what I mean? He might be like 31, 32 now. But he had an old spirit. And what he had an old spirit was his gang banging was like it was of the old days. You know, he didn't take nothing personally. He took his wins with his losses and kept it moving. You know what I mean?
Right.
And sooner than later, I realized he do like all of us had did in gang bang. You know, it wasn't nothing personal. He was just trying to make his working life. And as he made his working life, the boy was about his money. You know what I mean? And he was getting his money. And he even blessed me a couple of times, you know, and helped me get on my feet when I was doing bad. And I didn't even ask him. He just did it out the kindness of his heart.
Right.
So therefore, you know what I mean? He proved to me that he was everything everybody was talking about. You know what I mean?
Right. The dude Foley.
Now, I didn't get to see him. Right. I didn't get to see him fight. But I ain't gonna lie. You know, when you hear about dudes that can squabble, I did want to see him fight, and I didn't get a chance to. Now, don't get me wrong. He put hands on somebody up there. I ain't gonna say who or where they're from or whatever, because that ain't important. But I am gonna say I saw the results, and the results was the same thing as everything everywhere else he been. You know what I mean? He got a hold of them. He got a hold of them buddy ends. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, I had to respect him. You know what I mean? And like I said, I learned to love the little dude, and I wish I could have kept in contact with him, but he went to the hole before I could even, you know, suggest we keep in contact and try to get together on an activist level. You know what I mean?
Right.
Try
Right.
to make something happen from the streets, from the pen to the streets, to where we can come together. But I never got a chance to talk to him about it because he went to the hole. But all BS to the side. You know, I ain't got nothing bad to say about him, homie. I like the little dude, and I hope I run across him again so I can tell him that, you know, if he's listening or anybody know him, shout out to him, you know, not only to him, but Suge from 40s and the rest of the 40s I know. And the reason why is because not only that encounter, but my whole life, I've been messing with the 40s, and they never tripped on me, homie. I'm talking about never, not in jail or the streets or nothing. I didn't even sold dope at Magic Burgers up there on Western and Vernon, and they didn't trip on me. Now, other Crips that was around there tripped on me, but they didn't. You know, the police just told me, like the ones I knew just told me, like, be careful and posted up with me, and we got some money together. You know, them dudes was always cool with me, so I ain't got nothing bad to say about them, you know. Shout out to them, you know what I mean?
Right.
What about your experience with them?
Well, man, I'm gonna keep it honest, dog. My experience with 40 Crip, it go back some to where I went to 42nd Street Elementary as a youth. So I knew probably a couple names of them dudes before, you know, we took off to do what we had to do, but I was familiar with that area, and a couple dudes I went to school with, big brothers at that time, was from 40 Crips. So now to move it up to some time, one of my childhood friends, he had wind up turning 40 Crips. I think he was Lil Snaps. But make a long story short, he had went through some things, you know, over in his community, homie, I'm not too sure about, and he wound up getting killed. So that was, you know, a nigga wasn't so aware of what happened. So I kind of like shied away, you know, from them dudes like that. And then as I kind of like, you know, I was into the Turk, but my extension of the love kind of like went from him, you know, this my people, so I got love for him, so I got love for a couple of his peoples. But as I really got to like banging, you know, pushing the hood, you know, more heavily and tough, you know, them dudes was always kind of conjoined with the 60 Crips. So right there, that was like that was an issue for us and shit. And I remember times, you know, we had a couple of scrimmages with the 40s. I can't sit here and lie. And speaking of that, I remember my homeboy J. Rue PIP and another homeboy in the turf. They wound up running across some 40 Crips in the turf, homie, and confronting them dudes, homie, you know, pressing up on them, rolling up on them, pressing up on them. And the 40s, you know, pressed their hood on the homies inside our hood. And that led to a wild, wild west. You know, the homies, you know, to say the 40s, you know, get off. And say the homie J. Rue get off, homie, you know what I'm saying? and it led to a little gunplay and shit. And so we always had, here and there, we had our little, disagreements with them dudes in our youthful times, homie. But as an activist in up to date time right now, I don't have no issues with them dudes, homie. Shit, man. We didn't live,
All the time.
yeah, we didn't live past that and grew past that, homie. 89 on up. We on the edge with BJ APB, and we just sending it tonight.
All the time.
The
You
next,
know, sometimes
yeah, go ahead, BJ.
people gotta understand that.
Can you come closer to the mic for us?
Sometime in growth- Yeah, I said sometime in growth, people gotta understand that, in order for you to grow, you gotta mentally grow. Because only a dummy want to stay the same, you know what I mean? So you go in a department store and you look at a dummy every day, he's still with the same stupid smile on him, the same stupid things, you know what I mean?
On everything.
And that's what happens is when you stunt your growth, you know what I mean? So
Right.
we not children no more, so you gotta grow sometime, And I appreciate your growth because we both watching each other grow,
Exactly. The next historical question, man, we gonna move into, man. I had a youngster tap in, homie, and he's going through some relationship issues, he said, homie, and he not from the streets. Yeah, he not from the streets, but he from the streets. And he wound up getting into like a little domestic dispute with a female, homie. And he want to know, is it just him that's being a victim of this, or do dudes and homies from the streets battle this same crisis, homie? And I want to take a commercial break, let you hang up and come back with us where you got a fresh time so we can run this next segment up, dog.
For sure, and I'll be right back.
All right, loved one.
This call.
Yeah, man, I appreciate everybody tapping in with me and BJ tonight, man. 89 on up. We on the edge with BJ APB. And we just sending it, dog. But a lot of us dudes, homie, we come up with, really not liking each other, really falling out or having reasons where we fall out, whether if it be somebody that passed in our family, a friend, or something happened that make us dislike each other, homie. But as time go past and we try to heal and be better people, we also, I could take it for myself, homie. I even when I tell these stories, homie, and content, even if one of my homies passed or something happened, I would take that they'll want me to tell these stories, homie, because dudes died, homie. Just like we changed the homies that passed from Crips, Bloods, wherever hoods we talk about, we'll look at these dudes like they changed, homie. They just, I'm not looking at my homie died like this and he stayed like this, homie. I'm looking at even from decades of him dying, homie, he'll want to change, homie. We'll all want to change. So my homies from the grave, homie, want me to tell these stories about them and tell different shit, homie, that can change and save people and show growth and change within us, homie. You know what I'm saying? BJ, you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back with y'all. I'm back.
Yeah, I was just talking about how sometimes, man, our feelings can change towards, stuff, and basically dudes will come up off the porch for different stuff. Like, you might not have a problem with a gang, but let your family member or something happen to somebody, your feelings will want to go against that gang. Your feeling will want to help that gang retaliate against whoever took something out on your peoples or something like that, homie. So, but I said also, even though we got dead homies that's Crips and Bloods, they'll want us to tell their story, homie, because even though a homie died in that frame of mind, homie, I still look at 10, 20, 30 years from the homie passing, He'll wanna change, dog. So we also tell these stories for our homies that's in the graves too, homie, because they are activists for change, homie. They story is an activist for change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh,
I
so
totally agree.
yeah. So I want to go into the youngster, man. He say, he ain't from the streets, but he from the streets. He know dudes that gang bang that and all that. He didn't really take that route, but he do got a belief on what he stand on. And like I said, he ain't joined no hood, but he got a female. And I guess with the new way the world is, hip hop music and all kind of stuff with women, it boosts their character super high. So sometimes they got a way of talking to us kind of slick, and I guess he fell up under that and wind up snapping, and that kind of was like his first time ever jumping the gun, he say, and hitting a female, homie, taking flight on a female, dog. And
Mm.
he don't know if, like I said, was it just him because he not a real street thug type person like that. Have we ever experienced something like that, going upside a female head and shit like that? And it's all type of fractions and causes that can lead to that. And just for you won't feel alone, BJ, have you ever experienced, homie, going upside a female head and kind of what that was like? And I probably share it too, homie. Can you take us back to the first time you went upside a female head and kind of what the nature and cause of it, what it was it about?
Yes, and I'm gonna be honest, and I know she probably listening to the woman I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So I can only speak on it truthfully.
Right.
As far as in a relationship, I only hit one woman in my life, and she put her hands on me first, and I was under the influence. I'm not making no excuses, but at that moment, when she did it, it caught me off guard, and we was at a party, and I thought that I got dope fiend by somebody in the party. But when I realized it was her, I kind of lost control because I was like, she fired on me over me not wanting to be affectionate in front of my homies. But it wasn't that I didn't want to be affectionate. It was that the fact that we was at a party and there was some stuff going on. There was some other dudes getting into it, and I'm trying to get out the way, make sure I don't get shot or nothing,
Right.
And she wanted to hang out right where they at and wanted to make out. And I told her, I said, look, man, you see these dudes getting into it. We got to get up out of here. Go sit in the car, get out the way. And by her being under the influence, she didn't see what was going on. So she took it that I wasn't being affectionate enough. So out of nowhere, homie, she hauled off and almost snoozed me. I'm talking about she almost hit the snooze button. She hit me so hard. And that's why I thought I got dope fiend by one of the dudes that was out there arguing with each other.
This call and your phone number will be monitored and recorded.
And I admit I was out of pocket on me because I jumped up, and when I fired on her and she fell, I got on top of her like she was a dude. And I had to be pulled up off of her. That's how hard I went on her. And afterwards, when I sobered up, I realized no matter what she did to me, I shouldn't have did her like that. You know what I mean? I should have restrained her, slammed her or something, or pushed up against the car and got real aggressive and let her know I wasn't playing and left it at that. But when your equilibrium is off, you drunk and under the influence, you don't think like that. But since then, I haven't never put my hands on a woman. And the reason why is because I grew up watching my pops hit my moms and uncles and them, in that era, I guess that's what they did in that era. In the 50s and the 60s, they beat their women, early 70s or whatever. But it taught me not to do it because I saw how my mom just reacted. I know how I reacted with my father doing it. So as I grew up, I never wanted to do it because I know how a dude would feel if he hit his sister. Because if somebody hit my sister, I'm just keeping it real, even to this day. A dude hit my sister, she come get me, we gonna have a serious problem. And I ain't doing no talking. I ain't trying to hear she hit me first or none of that. So I try not to participate in that, and I don't encourage nobody to do that. Don't get me wrong. I know women sometimes say slick stuff and this and that, but they're human. They do the same thing we do. It's just that history has men as being the dominant one. And if you look at history from the cave days, men always been dominant and dragged this woman around. And so now in America they have a voice. And so some of us feel that a woman should do certain things. Me personally, I let a woman speak her mind as long as she don't put her hands on me. If she don't put her hands on me, I'm going to listen to it. When you put your hands on a man, that's when things go south. So, in order to not be in an abusive relationship, a woman should never put her hands on a man, and a man should put his hands on a woman. It's just that simple.
Yeah, that's pretty much fair to say, homie. That's pretty much fair to say. Me personally, dog, I have had experiences in relationships where it can get physical, dog, and sometimes you can start off like that ain't your cup of tea, homie, or you don't want to go there with that particular person like that. But how we know in our minds these particular people don't want a nigga to go there. They might be used to people going there, like we can't never, just exempt a woman. We always, we want to take the load and carry our fuck ups. But sometimes we got women, homie, that how we know they not used to squabbling, like a nigga might be used to squabbling with a female or getting into it with a female.
Wow.
So sometimes this shit happen in a relationship, homie, and I know in our times and era, it used to be petty shit that'll have a nigga chunking them with a female. It'd be some shit like we trying to be in the hood tough and be getting some money, and a female to be like trying to block us from the door to get into the streets or coming through the neighborhoods in the community, terrorizing, trying to short stop us. They not looking at the big picture like a nigga grinding. They got the negative energy that this nigga half decent, this nigga is in his community, other females might want him. So that's what started a lot of chunkums in our era with females. You could say jealousy a lot. Jealousy started it, homie, and brought the bad characters and bad actors out of us through the jealousy. And a lot of us weren't mature enough to dodge that type stuff, homie. So we involved ourselves with them type of situations, homie. And I could kind of say for females that I dated, homie, I wasn't getting into these relationships to bust a female upside her head. But like I said, homie, within some of that shit happening, a nigga did go upside a couple female heads, homie. And like I said, a nigga don't know what they was into. We'll never get they side of the stories of the females we dated to say, oh yeah, I came up abusive, or I came up seeing my mama fight or my auntie fight, and I kind of felt like that's how a nigga love me. If we chunking them, if we throwing blows, if we cussing each other out, we'll never get that half, homie. But I can say, after a nigga do have these altercations, a nigga don't walk around with his chest blew all out, feeling like he did something, homie. A nigga do feel sour, a nigga do feel bad, because these are females, homie. These are the females that we want to hang with every day, cut a burger in half with, share some fries with ranch, and drink off a soda pop together back in the days and shit. So a nigga whole expectation wasn't to crash him out, homie. You'll hear about old time abuse, like a nigga getting drunk coming in because he gambled off his money back in the days. He slapped his whole family around. Our abuse system wasn't like that, homie. It was the petty jealousiness that caused a lot of that shit, homie. And the nigga was uneducated on how he should maintain his attitude to save his relationship and to hold a relationship. So I say, homie, with up-to-date time and shit is all messed up, we just all gotta have patience, homie. Every day is a patience, homie. When you working with and when you in a relationship, it's patience, homie. But I say, don't near a nigga, I think, bust his female all upside his head, all upside her head, and the nigga take pleasure in it, homie. Don't never nigga I know, even though things happen. I done been in the hood where homies done had fallouts and they come to the hood sad. And the nigga be like, nigga, what's wrong back in the day? Nigga say, man, I had to slap old girl. And the homie be down and out. Nigga really fucked up because he got taken out his character. So for the females that may be listening, we don't grow 10 feet tall. Our chest don't poke out this big when we gotta get physical with y'all. And we hope y'all don't have that same image when y'all gotta fight us and make us look low at some points. We hope y'all chest don't grow out and y'all don't go 10 feet high on us. So to the youngster, homie, just apologize, homie, and yeah, go ahead, BJ.
And I was gonna do a little confession right quick because even though I didn't always hit a female, it's another one in particular that I just thought about in the back of my mind that I wronged and I apologized to her like every day. And what happened was me and her had an altercation because you know how when you out there in the streets hustling and you got bills to pay? I had a few bills I had to pay. And this girl in particular thought I was out cheating on her because I wasn't answering her call. But I told her before, when I'm in the field, I leave my pager at home because at that time when I was young and doing crimes, you never know when you got to run, and I don't want the pager falling off and police getting whatever at that time. So I used to leave it at home. So when she got to calling me and I didn't respond, she thought I was out with another woman when I told her I was going to hustle all night. So what she did was the next morning when I came in, she took all the money and did something with it. Then she took the dope, all the dope I had left and flushed it. And she not knowing the bills had to be paid that day. And I let my temper get the best of me when she told me she did it and was like, in my face, like, I don't care, I did that. So what's next? And she kept whooping. I got so mad I let the best of me come out, and what I did was, she was a pretty girl, had long hair. I was like, you know what? I'm going to teach her a lesson. When I was thinking, man, I turned her, man. I grabbed her in the headlock, drug her to the bathroom, had the clippers plugged up, because, I used to always, shave every day. I turned the clippers on. I ran them down the middle of her head, gave her a Mr. Kier, reverse Mr. T. Gave her a mohawk. And, man, again, I was under the influence.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Looking at her in the mirror, it was funny as hell at that time. But the next day when I sobered up, I felt bad because she was running around with a wave cap on for about 2 months till her hair grew back. And it made me feel low because she was running around looking like a smoker, Every time you see her, she had a wave cap on, So in front of the world, I do apologize for my actions. I told her then, she forgave me, but in front of the world, to all the rest of the women, I apologize because I was totally out of pocket for that, man. Hey. So I don't want that youngster to think it's cool to do that, man. So shout out to you, man. Just control your temper.
Hey, yeah, come back with us, man, and we're going to wrap it on up.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, man, that shit can get real something else, homie. And it's a abuse too, homie. We ain't always got to be physical abusive. We could be verbal abusive, homie. Both parties. A female could be saying stuff that hurt our feelings, homie, as males, homie. And that's what make us want to come back and say fucked up shit to a female that's harsh, homie. And in reality, homie, that don't really do no good, homie. You know what I'm saying? So I remember my grandfather told me, he like, we ride and people don't be talking. And sometimes, he say it's good to just ride and not talk, just to observe and everybody just feel each other and just program, homie. So sometimes it ain't a bad thing if we don't talk to each other. It could be a good thing, homie, because we hunting and seeking for the right things to say to one another, dog. You know what I'm saying?
An incarcerated individual asked, the California State Prison, Solano, Vacaville, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be
Yeah,
charged
man,
for this call. To accept this call, say or dial
we didn't hey homie, we all done went through we didn't all went through some
Yeah, fact.
yeah, we didn't all went through some hell of a times with with these relationships, homie. You know, so and we all still learning how to work with just people in life, the people we with, the people we care about, you know, especially us that, you know, live this gang street life, homie. Cause we always in an illusional state, homie, that a motherfucker trying to pull a punch on us, homie, whether if it's our girls, our peoples, by us living this life that's not real, we stay in an illusional mindset. So some of the shit that our women or women that care about us or like us say to us, it could be some legit shit, but the way they phrased it, the way they said something, or it'll touch a nigga like us because we so used to standing on some illusional value type shit. So that's what we gotta get a control of ourselves about, homie, is how we receive shit for being in this illusional gang street underworld lifestyle, homie. You know, this shit'll make you see and hear shit that ain't even true from one another, homie, and from stuff, you know?
Right. They call that toxic masculinity.
That's what they call that.
Yeah, that's when somebody when you growing up, other men give you advice and tell you how a man's supposed to be, but really that's not the code or how it goes. It just really just being macho.
That's what that is.
Uh-huh.
Right. BJ, anything you wanna add to the channel, homie, tonight? To the program?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
First and foremost, I want to say peace and blessings to everybody that tuned in, and thank y'all, you know, and bless y'all families, bless y'all hearts, and bless all the people that not here tonight to, you know, be with us, you know what I mean? All the people that lost their lives on the weekend, and then, you know, 4th of July coming up, so hopefully people smart enough to do a ceasefire so everybody can enjoy the 4th of July, you know, be able to eat barbecue, the kids can play and all that stuff, you know, because basically the 4th of July is a bad holiday, but it's a good holiday for us to make up for them shootings and stuff that happened during Juneteenth. That was really embarrassing, man. That black folks can't get together for nothing. That's why people treat us the way they treat us, you know, because we keep on displaying ignorance every time we get something that belongs to us, you know. That's why they ain't gave us the 40 acres of the mule yet. You know what I mean? And I wish I'd knew all this stuff when I was a kid, man. I really do, but I didn't. But I know it now, and it's my job to share it with y'all. You know, I don't try to change people's minds. I just try to make y'all think. Because if you don't think, you're going to be that department store dummy. And then you'll be a dumbass like me, sit up in jail damn near 30 years and try to figure out how to get back out of jail. You know what I mean? That's what I got out of me being a dummy. You know what I mean? Now I'm educated. I'm going to try to make sure y'all don't ever go through what I went through and make sure y'all educated. That's why I talk on this channel. That's why I tell y'all my stories, because if I don't tell y'all my stories, y'all would never know what it's like to have went through this type of situation. And before I go, I want to send a shout out to this young Crip from 111 named Sicko. Shout out to you, homie, and I appreciate you, little bro. And for me to you, you got a brother for the rest of your life, homie. And the reason why is because my mama, you know, I don't want to put my situation out there, but my mama is in a state where she could be gone before I come home, you know. I love my mama to death. This young Crip out of nowhere, he know my situation. He know I used to be a hardcore gang member and all that. He stepped up to the plate and helped take care of my mama. You know what I mean? That right there is true being a man. Because when I joined the game, these are the things that was expected. Sometimes when we growing up, everybody don't know how to be a good homie. Everybody just know how to kill for you when you die or be there with you when you're there. Everybody don't know how to be a homie because everybody wasn't taught the rules. But for a young Crip to step up and help a blood family and help my mama go grocery shopping, all the stuff, help my little brother when he needed help, watch my little brother's back, man, that dude is more than a Crip. That dude's a young general at 20-something years old, man. He's beyond his time.
Right.
So with that said, shout out to young Sicko, man, for when he left, man. I appreciate you, little bro, and everything, When I heard that, I shed a tear because for almost 2 or 3 years, my mama was in the house by herself in a wheelchair. And this little dude came along and helped her, man, out the kindness of his heart. He didn't have to do that. Shout out to him, man, and y'all that know him. And y'all, for when he left me, y'all know him, bless that little dude, because if I had the money, I'll bless him. So bless that little dude and take care of him, man. Love you, homie, for that. You know what I mean? Like I said, forever you'll have a big brother in me, man. Shout out to him and shout out to the rest of the people out there that done the same thing, heroic acts of humanitarian and helping people when they're in time of need. No matter whether it was blood or Crip or whether they was Mexican or not. They out there doing their part helping people. Man, I appreciate y'all.
Right. On everything, man. One love. Green, what it do? It said 89 on up, homie. Good to see you doing your thing. We go way back to 4th Ave. Yeah, that was my old street, man. 9810 4th Avenue, homie. All the time. Yeah, BJ, we be surprised, homie. Sometimes, where we come from to now, we be surprised who will have each other back, homie. And like I say, the same way Crip support us, homie. As us, being Damu affiliated, in our times in youth, growing up in this, we have supported Crips, homie. It been times I did good things for Crips, homie. Just out of my heart, homie. Not wanting nothing back, just want to show my, my humanitarian, as you say, shit, man, a good side, the human side of myself. And also, I want to shout out the homie from the barbershop, dog. When I was up in the hood on Market Street the other day, homie, I'm going to keep my word and bring my son through there and let you hit him on up, dog. Appreciate you, one love for the support and all that, man. Yeah, and I want to just thank everybody, that be rocking with the channel and supporting the channel, dog. And yeah, man, I'm going to get back to these stories. Yeah, I'm going to get back to some of these good stories, dog. I be working and be on the grind sometime, homie. So, a nigga like to be in a good state of mind when I'm sending it, homie. You know what I'm saying? What you was going to say, BJ?
Oh, one more thing, too, before we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say, shout out to the treetops and the fruit towns, man. Really appreciate what y'all doing out there, homie, Shout out to my boy Big Ducky. I know he probably don't remember me because we ain't seen each other in a long time. But I'm that dude back in 91 when we was on Rosecrans and we had the blue cutlass and you had the little box shell and we pulled up on side each other. We drew down on each other because we didn't know each other. And you was like, man, that cutlass looked like one of the front hoods car. And I was like, nah, man, that ain't one of them. You know what I mean? I know you remember that incident before you had went to the pen, homie, and I'm glad you're back out, man. Shout out to you, man. Keep your head up, man, and don't let nothing weigh you down, homie. This is just the beginning. You already know. Stay at the top, bro. And to the treetops, YG, my homie YZ, all the rest of them. Y'all already know what it is, homie. It's much love, you know what I mean? I appreciate what y'all doing out there. Kendrick Lamar for throwing the concerts and trying to bring all the brothers together, you know what I mean? Shout out to you, bro. That make you a young general because you thinking way before your head of time. You know what I mean? He's another young dude that's acting like he's 60 or 70 as far as with his thinking. Shout out to all that, man. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like hearing good stuff like that.
Speaking on that, since you reemerged that, somebody was saying from the last segment, we left out the homie Joe Moses from VNG Brim, homie. And I want to salute
On
and
everything, on everything.
I want to salute and shout out to homeboy Joe Moses, 50 Brim VNG, for what you do for the homies, homie. You know what I'm saying? You behind the scenes, but you do a lot for the homies. And every time something come up, video and stuff, homie, you letting homies from all areas pull up with love and get they shine, homie. I wanna salute you too, homie, for what you do for the Damu community, homie, as well, dog. You wanna add to that,
Shout
BJ?
out to him, Mickey Slick.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing, you know.
Right.
All the homies that's out there trying to do it right, you know what I mean? Shout out to all y'all that's out there rapping and coming back to y'all communities and contributing. Appreciate y'all.
Right. To the homies that's doing music and the homegirls that's doing music, and so y'all won't be left out, homie. We might not got all the names and all that, but we salute y'all for what y'all do for the community, homie. See, we didn't have this when we was coming up. We niggas just had to, you know,
Exactly.
yeah, we established it. Just I go to a nigga hood and get cracking on his enemies or rush some niggas, and that's how we was getting known with each other. But now y'all can get known through music and different things, homie, and bring the community closer together besides violence, homie. So, man, we gonna leave y'all with that note, homie. Once again, 89 on up. And we was on the edge with BJ APB. And we gonna keep sending it, homie. BJ got some stories he gonna send. I got some shit lined up with other people. And I'm gonna get back with sending some more gangster shit on my end, homie. With that being said, dog, we out. Much love.
Much love. Peace and blessings.